Manafort's going to trial. Now, these are serious charges. We should point out these are banking charges. They're tax charges. And this is kind of stuff that brought down Al Capone. I'm not comparing him to Al Capone. I'm just looking at the charges. So he's going to trial. He either believes he's innocent and can prove it, or can have his lawyers somehow get himself off the charges one way or another. This doesn't fit into the Robert Mueller narrative, does it? Because he really didn't want to prosecute Manafort. He just wanted to put the squeeze on Manafort.
Well, no, more precisely, I think he never thought that Mr. Manafort would go to trial. He put enormous pressure on Manafort, financial and personal pressure, a dawn raid at his apartment while he and his wife are in bed like he's some kind of mobster. He's a 70-year-old white-collar suspect at this point. And everybody in this country is entitled to their day in court. The kind of pressure they put him under two different incarcerations, recognizing that we're incarcerating him before he has been convicted for any crime, and while he's trying to prepare for a massive trial in which they've essentially said to him, all you've got to do is flip on Trump and you walk, Manafort. And he has said, I want to go to trial. They don't want to go to trial, Graham. We've talked about this before, because it will show their hand on the FISA warrants. It will prove yet again, as in the case of Carter Page, that the FISA warrants were misused for political purposes. It's an abuse of power, far worse than Watergate. And they don't want to talk about that. They're denying this in discovery in the Manafort trial, and they didn't want to go to trial. Manafort's fortitude not to fold. He's been ruined financially. His name has scorched the earth. When he was under home confinement, they made him wear 2 ankle bracelets to humiliate him. And now incarcerating him on what his lawyers presented in court as thin evidence of witness tampering prior to being convicted of a crime. It's Orwellian in their efforts to break in. And it's amazing that he's going to trial.
I mean, think about it. As you pointed out, this gentleman is behind bars as he's awaiting his trial. And this guy, you know, in this country, last I checked, this guy is innocent until proven guilty, yet the Mueller probe seems to be breaking that mold. And I think the point you're bringing up is an important one in terms of discovering and in terms of the evidence. The limited scope of the evidence, that the Mueller team doesn't want certain things out there in public, doesn't want, for example, the Pfizer warrant in there as evidence so the public could see what's in the Pfizer warrant, or possibly the dossier, which was a big building block, a prominent building block for the Pfizer warrant, and all these other issues the Mueller team is trying to keep from me and you and 300 million other Americans from knowing the truth.
Yeah, I think it is the Rosetta Stone of this entire scandal. It is that which Mr. Rosenstein is trying to withhold from the Congress. It is that the government's lawyers are trying to withhold from Manafort's lawyers at trial. It's what Mr. Strzok goes to see the FISA judge about and then lies about it. It is the common thread here. And it shows that the Russian collusion investigation is a distraction, is meant to be a distraction from the abuse of power in which the authority and capability of the state was used to spy on Donald Trump's campaign.
Yep, it's the narrative.
Potentially send Manafort to prison for the rest of his life.
Right, and it's the narrative laid out by the Democrat Party shortly after Donald Trump wins the presidency and Hillary Clinton loses. And in a public relations sense, I think you and I would have to admit, in a sense, they're winning here by the very existence of Robert Mueller and his search and destroy mission. But I got to ask you, Kristen Davis, who had been an associate of yours over the years, she has been subpoenaed by Robert Mueller. What was her relation with Russian meddling, as far as you know, or even the Trump campaign?
Well, I think this is actually an important illustration of what I'm talking about in terms of this being a witch hunt. Kristen Davis once ran the largest and most successful call girl ring probably in the United States. She was prosecuted for that crime in the Elliot Spitzer scandal. And it was interesting how, when that all broke, Spitzer went back to his Park Avenue townhouse, his Park Avenue penthouse, and to CNN for a failed television show gig.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.